we'll fucking start there then. Now that's finished, we'll get into this. This is it's going to be a long one, Jack.
That's all right.
Now, I know we've not done a Spotify in a while. I know we've not done a Patreon in a while. We're going to hit both of those today with a double feature.
Oh.
Because I'm back on me, but in the words of Big X the Plug, I'm back on my bullshit. Don't know if you've been listening to Big X the Plug recently, mate.
Nope.
Not listening to fucking Big X, lad.
No.
I feel like you might like him.
I was too busy trying to think of something that sounds like creature feature to do with paedophiles.
Yeah.
A teacher feature.
A teacher feature, yeah, that'll work.
A preacher feature.
It's a far-reaching preacher feature, this one.
Far-reacher feature.
I've been deep. I think you've got us back in.
It's nice to have you back.
It's been
because there's been a few months where I feel like I've been coming to you with stuff and you've been like, this isn't real, mate.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's been going on for quite a while, and there has been a few times recently where I've thought, do we even bother carrying this on? Because it's clear that like my fuse for like fucking conspiracy has gotten a lot shorter than it used to be, and I'm not fucking on it anymore. And I was like, is it time to hang up the boots? Should I just fucking jack it all in? Like, not try and eke it out to 25 years to get the fucking watch or whatever, the little Casio that they give you. I'm guessing. Alex Jones comes and drops off some sort of fucking The Frog's Gay Casio, which I'd like that.
I would fucking love that.
I'd like that. That'd be really nice, actually. I'd wear that with pride all the time. But this...
Wrist-mounted cuckoo clocks is a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Where's the cuckoo going to come from?
The wrist.
Yeah, but you'd
like
have
the
to
face of the watch.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jack, is most watches are pretty flat, and cuckoos have to come out of the inside of the mechanism. So it's almost like you'd have to like
magicians, you know, them Styx magicians have the wands, a collapsible wand,
right?
Bit like that, but on the end of it, little gay frog.
I like it. I like the fact that I like the idea
just the tongue of the frog.
No, I like the idea that you have to get the frog actually embedded in your wrist. You put the watch over the top.
Yeah.
And the frog pops out the wrist.
Yeah, because you've spent 25 years telling people to be careful what they put in their body.
Yes.
And then you've inserted a biomechanical frog into the wrist.
Absolutely fantastic. Because that's the thing I love about all of these sort of figures, like the Rogans, the Joneses, and everyone is like, put this in, it'll ruin you. They put that in, it'll ruin you. All love a cigar. All love a whiskey.
Yeah. Sponsored by Huel.
Yeah. Oh, that's real dog shite. Well, we're back because thanks to Flesh Simulator for if no one knows who that is, check him out on YouTube and Instagram. He's a funny guy, sound tech / musician / documentary maker about some of the fucking basically truth seeking shit. He's done MK Ultra videos, CIA experiment videos, and then this one, which talks about essentially what could be the fucking centre focal point of massive web of like sex rings that are somewhat all intertwined. Maybe
the way the world runs.
At least
quite possibly the thing that makes the world work. Either through blackmail, through fear, even through just setting up businesses in order to be able to make it work.
This is, from the outset, right? One thing, got to commend everyone. From all the research and reading I've done, which is fucking extensive. I've been up for longer than I should have the past few weeks, just reading and watching shit to do with this. They've all got an entrepreneurial mindset.
Oh, they do.
Like, they're solutions people. They find a problem and they're like, we have a solution for this.
And we can probably use this to move child porn. Fantastic. 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 businesses every time.
I think it's more to the point that they initially use all of their business tactics in aid of creating child porn, then go, actually, while we have this business, we could probably try and somehow legitimize it by doing other stuff. And then they'll might take a bit of the shine off the fact our exclusive export is
just
fucking
CP by the boatload, by the ton as well, which is
we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
But do you think then, just as a starter, you know, whenever in the past I've said to you, they're in on it, and you've said in the past, and you could go back, listener, and listen to other episodes. Too many people would have to be involved. No, not that many people could keep this a secret. Does this not prove that if you really have to keep a secret, you can do? Because a lot of people are involved in all of this.
Yeah, but none of it's a secret. Because if I can read it, or if I can get access to it, none of it's a secret. What they have managed to do is, like, muddy the waters and skew the lines so you don't make connections. From the very start, right? There are loads of people in this that we're going to mention that you know of, that listeners will know of. They'll know the names, even if they don't know their backstory or whatever. They'll know the names. What they have managed to do throughout all of this is keep the lines like unconnected.
Yeah, give you the character profiles, but not a story arc.
Yeah,
like, they never meet up. It's like if Marvel makes lots of comics, but these have never done the crossover episodes. They've never had to try and really be like, oh, Punisher's not really selling that well, but if we chuck him into Spider-Man for a few issues, people might buy Punisher. They've not really had to go, oh, people really know Edmund Kemper, and not many people know, Bill Clinton. But if we put them in a little news story together, Edmund Kemper, instead of fucking his mum's neck hole, is sucking Bill Clinton off underneath the desk in the White House, then people might be a bit more inclined to look into him. They haven't really done that.
That's one way of putting it, yes. Now, in order to give a little bit of context before this, because this is going to be essentially split over two different shows, a fucking massive just dump of information of shit that I've found. We'll try and make it entertaining. We'll try and make it not as depressing as it fucking is, because all I've done, especially over the last 14, 16 hours, is page by page saddened myself and been like, oh, right. Oh, it does go that far. Oh, that person's name. Oh, they're still about. Oh, those people. Not those people. What? I've learned who's actually above fucking Epstein and who could have been like his. Thing is with him and this bloke, is it Epstein or is it the other bloke who was the chicken and the egg sort of scenario? There's two of them that are. I don't even know where to start. We're going to start with the Flesh Simulator documentary.
Yeah, let's give them a bit of context as to, because no one knows what we're talking about here.
Fantastic.
We've mentioned a bit of kiddie porn. We've mentioned a few names. So
we've mentioned our favourite episodes. Here's the top 10. Climbing 3 places from last week. It's the death of John Benet Ramsey. In at 9,
in the windows.
In at 9, it's the first kid who was ever put on a milk carton, Johnny Goshed. Who was it? Was it Foxy? Was that the DJ?
What, DJ? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Fox.
Dr. Fox. He did part of the countdown, didn't he? Doctor definitely involved. Also a member of the BBC, so actually most likely involved.
Double circles on the Venn diagram.
Yeah, he's
medical professional, entertainer, BBC.
Yeah. So
Saturday night television.
John Benet Ramsey also comes into this. I know I've just mentioned that. Yeah, so does Johnny Gosh, who I've just mentioned, the first kid on a milk carton. This is it.
My query with the milk cartons, was that not a mint way to advertise what kid you've nicked? Do you know what I mean? And be like, we got this one.
Yeah. Mate. That could have been it.
Because if you only have to have them in like a 10-mile radius, each milk carton would have to be one kid. Because if you go to someone's house and they live a couple miles, especially in America, the next door neighbour could be a couple miles down the road.
Yeah.
So you go down the road and you see, oh, it's the same kid on the milk carton. But you go a few miles, different kid. You're like, oh yeah. And you put them all together, little fucking catalogue.
Yeah, I suppose.
The milk files.
Yeah, the milk crates. Digging through the crates. Gives a new meaning to the term crate digging, yeah. So, yes, the start. Flesh Simulator. Great channel. Check them out. It does documentaries.
We'll put a link in the description on the Spotify episode.
We fucking will. He needs it because it's so good. His documentary joins a lot of dots. And he's one of us. Let's say he's definitely one of us. He joins a lot of dots between child sex rings and killers and other prominent figures who were involved throughout 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to 2000. And now basically there's one still remaining alive from all the documentary, from all the people he mentions in the documentary. There's only one person still alive, and it is one of the kids who helped Dean Coral.
Right, okay.
So,
and he's just holding all this red string between his fingers and his teeth, thinking they'll never kill me. Because if I die, I'll let go of all of this.
Yeah.
And it all falls apart. Don't put me back on the board.
So, a great place to start would be Dean Coral.
Dean Coral, yeah. So, Dean Coral, I know a bit about him.
Yeah, you do this bit.
Serial killer. He had 2 accomplices at least, who were called Henley and Brooks, known by the surnames, who were 2 school kids essentially, who he'd found, and he was going to kill one of them because what he liked to do was he liked to strap people to a board and tape them down to it, nail them to it, affix them to a board, get a nice little glass tube, shove it right up the urethra, get their dicks hard, really, get them going, and then smash that glass pipe inside the penis. And apparently, allegedly, this was all then filmed as snuff films, and then the people would be sent off, or they wouldn't die. He would just torture them and rape them quite a lot, and then send them off to be killed for snuff films. But I put it to you, snuff films is in inverted commas here, again, muddying the water, because surely if you take a school-age child, torture them for a while, rape them, really fucking hurt them for days on end, weeks on end, you're psychologically breaking that person, and then you're sending them off to be basically fucking, X'd or whatever, another Marvel reference, but let's put let's keep
it family friendly.
Let's MK Ultra these children now, in the same way that we used to do in the 60s, but we used to traumatize people and do that, but now we can do it at home. We've made a kit. All you got to do is go down to B&Q, get yourself a bit of MDF, hammer, nails, bit of glass tubing. That's the hard thing to come by. But thermometers are everywhere.
Bit of glass tubing's well cheap. They sell meth pipes at most shops.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hard to shove down a urethra, though.
Skinny meth pipe, a light meth pipe. If you're coming off meth, like the sort of pipe that you'd have if you were on
the Fisher-Price meth pipe.
Yeah, baby's first meth pipe.
Yeah.
You use one of them. But yeah, Coral. So, Dean Coral was... let me get my little Dean... Do I have a little fact sheet on Coral? Do I have any notes on him written down somewhere?
There's a picture of him that makes him look like he was military.
There is, but I don't think he was.
No, that's what I was confused by. Because I've never heard much mention of him in like other documentaries or podcasts. I don't think I've ever heard much mention of him being military. Because usually, if there is a military background, they really dig into that and be like, well, look, this is, again, he's tied to this guy who's here. Whereas he just seems to have just fell into torturing and killing people, paying these lads $200.
Which nowadays is like $1,600. So
no, about 3,500, wasn't it? I
thought it was
3,500 or something.
I thought it was 1,600 that he said.
Oh, it could be.
Regardless,
either way,
it's a good amount of coin, isn't it?
Yeah. If you're a teenager, that's an awful lot of money. It's an awful lot of money when you're older as well. But the payoff, I mean, like the downside is you're slowly losing friends, or quickly losing friends, depending on how often you go to this party at Dean's.
Well, at the end, wasn't he responsible for 28? At least 28. He was charged with 28 murders.
27. 26 or 27.
But the two lads
said the 28th, the police gave up and said, "This is enough now," because
Yeah,
now we've
because
got
he
your
broke the
index
record.
cards.
Because he broke the record.
Yeah,
He basically broke the record of a previous murderer, which was the bloke. He took the record from another bloke involved in what? The possible selling of kids to child sex rings, who had killed 26. So they got to 27, stopped. The lads, the two helpers, the young ones, Henley and Brooks, said that there were many more than that.
Yeah.
So what Coral would do was, like you said, he ran the Dallas operation, where they bought and sold boys.
Essentially, the Dallas Buyers Club.
Essentially, yes. And they procured kids. Coral died or got shot by Henley.
Henley, repeatedly.
Basically,
because he was trying to kill Henley, because Henley brought a girl.
Brought a girl.
Who
Coral didn't want a girl
her.
there. Coral didn't want a girl there because Coral would only fucking sell and rape boys and kill boys.
But he hadn't brought her there with that intention, which is mental. Like, to think I've brought her here to keep her safe. She's my friend. I've brought her to this house where I've watched this guy repeatedly rape and kill people. To bring your friend there to keep them safe is mental.
Yeah, her dad must have been mad because she was just trying to escape her drunk dad.
Yeah.
How bad to die?
But then she goaded him, being like, "Are you going to do something about you're going to kill me? Aren't you going to do something to stop this?" Fucking. And obviously that worked, So, getting a woman to henpeck you can be good for you, I suppose. Change your life, So for the listener, get a woman in your life.
From there, the next person mentioned or comes up in this, or the next key one, that the producer, throughout this, I don't know why, but you're going to know more about the record producer than me, because he just slips, because it's at the start of the documentary, and there's so much that I've got on since then, and his name hasn't really propped up, that you're going to know more about that than me.
Okay.
What did Coral have with him? Was like there a connection between the two?
It was some form of index card or something that related to him. And they were like, "Oh, this is weird, because why would you even know Ames?" I think something Ames.
That's him. Roy Ames or something like that.
Roy Ames, yeah, that was it. I knew it was Rames.
A music producer,
yeah, country music producer, yeah.
Yeah, and record label owner.
Yeah.
Some could say, like you pointed out off air, a sort of precursor to Diddy.
Yeah, in essence, for what we're seeing possibly happening at the minute, yeah.
Someone in the music industry,
we just don't know how far that goes,
who either facilitated parties or procured kids for parties
he did
or materials.
Orgies.
Yeah,
he ran a lot of orgies, apparently, this Ames guy,
so,
and created loads of kiddie porn, and he managed, for a while, he was responsible for a third of child pornography being produced at any given time in America. Like, that's essentially monopolizing a market. If you're making 3/4 of anything for a market, you've probably got the fair market share.
Yeah, definitely. Like, your Duracell.
Your Coca-Cola of the CP game.
It's big for you. If you go down, like, it's the equivalent of like Netflix losing most of their stuff.
Yeah.
And you're
going
left
back
with
to Amdram stuff on there, amateur
or just the
footage.
Netflix originals, and you're like, no one wants to watch this.
Yeah. I don't know any of these people.
The storyline doesn't make sense. This is the effects are off. So we talked about, you mentioned there, Ames
another Marvel reference though. AIM is a bad, evil company throughout all of Marvel productions. Everything Marvel, comics, films, games, AIM are the evil ones. Evil corporation, basically. They create robots, guns, AI stuff. Basically anything that's going to kill the good guys or destroy the world. Which I thought was weird. There's a few little things where it's like, it's as if like Stan Lee might have been like, I'm aware of this.
A bit like Kubrick when they reckon that Eyes Wide Shut was meant to expose Hollywood.
But maybe Stan was just a bit too autistic with it and changed little bits too much, or just valued his own life more than Kubrick did.
Yeah, tried to get it out in a less blatant way to be like, I can still tell the story, but only other artists are going to be able to interpret it. Yeah.
Artists and bagheads. And when the two converge,
then the greatness happens.
Yeah.
So you Ames gets raided. Yes,
he does. Yeah, he gets raided.
A warehouse of Ames's gets raided, where he's been distributing CP from. Just how much CP is found in this warehouse?
Well, I have actually, I've wrote it down. 4 tons. 4 tons of pornography. He also had been found before this. The reason why they found him was because he had a shipment of, it was £200 of porn.
Yeah, a big box of porn.
Yeah, nondescript yet illegal pornography. So you've got to assume probably kiddie porn, because it'd be weird if he was also doing like bestiality and necrophilia porn.
No, I think a lot of them were. I think there's a lot of bestiality that crosses over in this as well.
Is it? I don't know anything about it.
So from all the other stuff I've read, not just about this case, but about fucking all the rings I've read, like, there's always some level of animals being used.
Do you reckon this is why TV people say don't work with kids or animals? Because Ames is there and he's like, that's my
my forte.
Yeah,
you stay out of that.
That's my racket there. Yous can have your Blue Peter, but if you fucking don't be letting me hear any of these Blue Peter turn into Blue Pedos, I'm not fucking having it, mate.
Yeah, you can have a dog on your show, but if that dog starts eating out of burn, then I'm gonna have something to say about it. Yeah. Now, when you've got to measure porn in tons,
right, I have done the maths, mate. You'll like this. So the pornography of the time was predominantly on something called a Super 8 movie reel, which is a very, very small reel for like home cinema systems.
Yep.
Now, I looked into the weight of one of those, 51 grams. So 4 tons, excluding the weight of the crates. Let's say they haven't weighed the crates in this. It is literally 4 tons of child porn, the predominance of which is on these Super 8 movie reels. That's 78,431 reels.
That's insane.
That's an awfully big number. But to put that into perspective, right, for you, and for you, the listener, there's 52,309 species of spiders in the known world. Right? There's 6,495 species of known mammals in the world. There's 11,000 species of birds in the world. So if these were purely biological films of a video of each of these creatures that this man had managed to film, and it wasn't child porn and wasn't horrific, he was just obsessed with filming animals, which I just learned maybe he was as well, but in like just a natural state, he would still have to film another 8,627 things to be able to fulfill 4 tons of
He's the Attenborough of the child porn world.
And here we have a young child.
This one here, we have a small Peruvian man.
Known as a warbler. Because when you enter one of these small Peruvian children,
the noise that leaves his nose.
Language has yet to enter the Peruvian culture in this sector.
And what we're witnessing now is less of a mating ritual and more of cries for help. As this little one...
More an assertion of dominance by the village leader. And by village leader, I mean Roy Ames.
So the bad thing about this is that they weren't all reels. Loads of them were photos and that as well. Way even less.
An awful lot more. Right. So I also did a bit more maths. I'm just going to crack
open this gin because this topic is actually that depressing that I'm having to drink during it.
So the average magazine weight is 227 grams, and being that these guys got into magazine distribution of supposed child pornography, which was more of like a way of advertising what children were available rather than actual child porn, but still 4 tons of magazines is 176,200. Fucking hell, it's such a big number, man. 1762114 magazines, which is 1,762,114 magazines. Which doesn't sound right, because that should be a lot less. Maybe it's 17,621.14. That's better. 17,621 magazines. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's more than you'd get if you subscribe to one magazine a month for your life.
So, Ames, you could say he was a bit of a porn hoarder.
He was a bit off the mark.
He ran a distribution company. Like Jack mentioned, he came on the radar because a massive box of porn turns up at an airport.
Box breaks.
They send him, basically, they reach out and go, "Excuse me, mate, we think a massive box of porn has turned up for you at the airport."
They knew. It had his name on it, and they're like, "This is a
yeah, but you can't.
Excuse me, sir. There's a big box of kiddie porn here for you. Would you like to come and collect it?
Is this yours? Would you come to pick it up?"
Yeah.
And like any fucking normal person would, he does. So he goes airport.
Imagine you've bought weed off the internet, right? Not even pills are out. Just a big bag of weed. And you get a phone call from the post office being like,
"Mate, I've had that slip. I've had that slip. I've had that slip through the door where they've been like, you've got a parcel. But you don't have to collect it up from your local sorting office. You got to go to the big post office. Can you come and get it?" And I've instantly gone.
Collect it from the police station.
Yeah, I've looked at that slip and gone.
You've won a boat.
I've just lost that weed. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
So if I'm like shipping thousands and thousands, what I can imagine to be thousands and thousands of dollars of fucking child porn, that means I probably got the money to give this a miss. He's gone. "No, I actually want that box of porn. It's got a few rare shinies.
What in it?
It's got a shiny there from Japan that I've never seen before, and I think only 3 people have got it. 17 died in the production of it, including all the staff." So
gas leak, terrible gas leak, very strange fetish.
He goes and gets his porn, takes it home, and they obviously go and arrest him and go, "He is
Not
you with your
though.
porn."
They follow him home with it.
Yeah, but I think that makes sense because you want to sort of make sure that he definitely
make
sure he wasn't giving it. Yeah. Or where's he taking it?
I like the idea though that the TSAs were just there and they're looking at it going, "This is pretty good. This. Do you reckon he's got any more? We should have him." And it's like a gang thing where they're like, "Well, if he's moving this through our border, he's not paying us. We could move in on this. We should see if he's got any more of it." And all the other TSAs are there being like, "Yeah, we could make some money out of this." And the guy who's been flicking through is like, "Yeah, we could, money, yeah, we could make some money out of it, yeah." Just stuffing his coat and his jumper full of it.
I think they find a Rolodex from him, right?
Yeah, they find quite a few in all these places. And the police do something really weird with them all.
It's mad, yeah. In every instance, there's gonna be a trend you're gonna realise when we go through this. Is every instance that the police find an extensive contact directory, of which there are tons, with Coral, with Ames, with the next person we're about to bring up, who's pretty much the focal point, the key of all of it, really. I think he's the fucking the linchpin. They find tens of thousands of contact details, usually names, full contact info, usually the sexual proclivities, like the kinks they're into, and they definitely go and investigate all of them. What they don't do is burn every single last one and just deem them to be not useful to the investigation.
Well, the thing you normally hear in it is like, an unexpected hurdle came up in the way of the investigation, and it prolonged us and made us take longer. But this was clearly like a 100-meter dash. That's all it was for the law enforcement, between crime happening, solving crime. And it's like, wow, this is great. But what if I'm a big fan of the steeplechase? I prefer the steeplechase. Let's dig little divots and put fences in front of them and try and tackle them. And now let's pour a bit of water in there so we can't quite tell how deep the hole is before we hit it. It's mental, man. Like it's insane. It just screams conspiracy. Like it's not even conspiracy. It's the literal term of a conspiracy.
Yes.
It's not like is it aliens kidnapping the livers of cows in rural America? It's this was happening. This was covered up.
Everyone has said, like, literally, investigators who then years down the line had done interviews were like, "Yeah, I saw contact." Like everyone who saw these contact cards were like, they were prominent government, like members of the government, politicians, high-ranking, like fucking officials, celebrities. All these names are in them at every point. None of them got investigated.
Now, to play devil's advocate, and I wouldn't be doing it. It wouldn't be fair to the listener, I think, if I didn't bring this up. But what if none of them were prominent government officials, celebrities, politicians? What if it was just names that were very hard to pronounce, like Claxoclock 5? and things like that. And
It's just Indians.
Nah,
It was the
aliens.
70s and that, man.
It's just aliens.
It was the
and they're
70s
like,
and
this
that.
is like, and that's what they're doing. They're feeding aliens or whatever with the
I don't know,
children, like
I imagine-
sacrifices and stuff.
I reckon more racist America, 70s and 80s. They looked at fucking long Asian name and went, look, we're never going to crack that. Let's just burn it.
Let's just list them all with a system of queues. So from 1Q, and then it's like 2Q, 3Q, 4Q, and then we've got to 50Q, and now we're gonna write Q, 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 like that.
Possibly, yeah. We're going to move on to the next person. I don't know how to make a jump. I can't remember.
His name was Q, 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 Q.
His name was John David Norman.
Yes.
What's the connection? Is there a connection between him and Ames? Was he part of the distribution?
He had the. He was basically the big boy.
No. I just want. I'm going to talk about that. Is there a connection between Ames and him? So we can at least link this. There is between Coral.
I don't think there was a clear link. He was like the next guy, sort of.
Coral's victims were like
one above a capo.
Imogen's
sort of style thing, I think.
Coral's victims, images and videos of them were found in Ames's materials.
Yes.
They were also found in the materials of a fellow called John David Norman, who ran a number of things, starting with, I believe, the Odyssey Foundation, which was a program setting up young, intelligent, fucking energetic, outgoing young boys with
handsome, sexy,
beautiful, fit, tight-assed kids with
buxom, well endowed, tight-assed.
I said tight-assed.
Thick-lipped.
It would set them up with mentors. I can't remember what he called them. They were called like it began with a D. Yeah, they were called bears.
TSs.
The bears. It was bears and bucks. Basically, they would fucking... He was like, there's thousands of dorms throughout the US being set up for this Odyssey Foundation.
So he did this twice. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, what were you thinking? Project Delta as well?
Yeah.
So Odyssey Foundation. Odyssey Foundation was similar. Project Delta was the big one, but Odyssey Foundation. So let me find out quickly before I don't want to get this wrong.
Okay.
So you may have just heard my flatmate pissing in the background.
The second one already.
It's a little bit of extra for you.
We had to restart the show, guys, because he just as we started, he started pissing, and you could hear him through the wall.
Did a big piss. Where the fuck is it? The Odyssey Foundation. How can we fill this dead air?
Oh, I think it was because it was more of a related to Coral, wasn't it? This fellow, wasn't he?
Yeah,
this fella's name is.
Yeah, Joe.
Because of 5 days after Coral's death, they went and
got
house
him
known for child porn, and they found this guy. Essentially, this guy was there, and they were like, "You tell us, you make a little deal. You tell us where we can get." Like that TSA guy's there, just rubbing his arm, and he's like, "You tell me where I can get some more of this stuff, and I'll sort it out for you. You know, you can move through the border whenever you want, and you can go on holiday whenever you like. I'll slip you on me frequent flyers list." And he was like, "No, mate, no, I'll just go to prison and just run it from there for a couple of years, mate. I'll be sound."
Yeah, and he basically ran his whole thing from prison and said, "My business will do fine whether I'm in here or not."
Yeah, and whilst in there, started another one, but. Like, weird thing about the prison, little sidestep, because we're not going to be quite at the Junior Chamber of Commerce yet.
Oh, no, I'm going to bring that up in a bit. We're going to bring that up in a bit. Okay. Don't worry, we're going to come to that.
Because that had a prison chapter, and that doesn't feel like something that should have a prison chapter. But
yeah,
odd. But while you're looking into Project Odyssey,
yes,
this the music industry style thing with Ames.
Yes.
And I came up with a bit of an idea, a bit of an entrepreneurial segment for people, how the music industry is a potential front for child porn. Because you've got big factories where you've got tape, CD, vinyl pressings going on all throughout history, until now, really, where that's now possibly we could see the collapse of the music industry because there's less physical sales, which could be replaced by video games, I suppose, but now that's becoming more download as well.
Yeah.
But you'd only need one room within that, or one machine producing physical pornography, and then you could hide that in a crate in a lorry, which you'd have lorries anyway to distribute these CDs or tapes.
I mean, they
Could
had
hide
more
a
than a
couple of
lorry.
boxes
They
in the lorry.
they created their own fucking distribution network.
Yeah, but to hide that, surely they could have used that for the music industry.
Yeah.
Because they must have had other customers, like proper customers, to launder the money, and so they could add more money to it.
Well, I mean, it
Because
would
then-
make sense how he managed to move reels and shit like that. If you say that they were
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of like
Well, if you're
fucking
getting your
media.
lorry investigated and it looks like it's got 2,000 boxes in it full of the same tape, if you just a quick inspection of like 30 boxes, you keep seeing these tapes, you're going to think, that's the whole thing's that. You're not going to think, this the whole point of this is just to move one box of kiddie porn. So we're going to move 1,999 boxes of Elvis's fucking best of, and then one box of it is kiddie porn in the far corner. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the whole point of the lorry. So then you could artificially inflate the sales of music. Because think about how many people they say bought records, man. Like 40 million sales. And that's relatively low. That's just high in hip hop.
Yes.
So that's a low number for music sales. But that's high for rap. So just as an example of a number, that's so many CDs. So many, ridiculous amount. So you could artificially inflate that with the TV stations you own to make people believe that these people are as big as what you're saying they are. And then you can wash all of the money, or a good portion of the money, from the pornography production and snuff film production. And then you can even be paying tax on that, making your company a big taxable business, so that it wants to be protected, essentially, by the higher-ups in government who know you're selling videos of me shagging kids, plus you're also somehow, in a really weird way, paying for the country to still be able to bomb the Middle East. And we need all of these things to be happening.
Yeah, that's certainly a jack tangent to look at. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you. I was expecting a bit
for
more
you,
pushback there.
Very
nice.
Thing is, I'd want to push back, but there's so much here that I'm just going to let it flow. Because the thing is, mate, this stuff's that fucking wild that your usual bollocks could quite well fit in here.
It could be there's just the key that helps it all.
So,
What we need is someone who teeters on the edge of schizophrenia, guys, just to point this out and be like, but it all links because of this. Have you heard of the Archons?
So, the Odyssey Foundation. No, I'm just already fucking deep into the next bit.
It looked like you frowned at the Archons.
No, I just let it slide. There has to be mentions of some sort of fucking intergalactic or extra-dimensional entities when you're on something, so, like, I'll let it slide. That's small for what could derail this. So, Coral dies. They raid a postbox. The postbox connects them. They get an anonymous informant, gives them a tip about a man running a mail-order child pornography and prostitution.
It's just full of letters. What do they mean?
It's just like fucking
Just
like
loads of loose letters, like what you'd see on Sesame Street floating on the screen. A, C, G. Oh my god.
They get a tip about a bloke running a mail-order child porn and prostitution service from his Dallas apartment, the Dallas operation. It's Norman.
That'd be mint if that's what waitresses got. That's what they have to give in America.
What a tip?
They change. Yeah. They changed the law, so you have to.
You have to give criminal information.
You've got to be an informant every time you get served by someone, and then that waitress has to go to the police and be like, "Here's everything I got today." The police weigh it up like fucking Set from fucking ancient mythology, Egyptian mythology.
Yeah, that comes up in
weighs
this
it
later,
against
actually.
Weighs it against, does it? That's mint. Weighs it against a feather, and he's like, right, well, you've used more ink than a feather's worth, so here's an extra $50. Good work.
So, Norman is found in his house, or found at an address with 5 teenage lads. In the apartment, there's photographic equipment, child porn all over the place. There's loads of stationery files and literature. all pertaining to an organisation called the Odyssey Foundation. Right?
Literature's a weird word, isn't it? To like the idea of writing fan fiction, kiddie porn.
No. It just says that it's all pertaining to an organisation called the Odyssey Foundation. So there could be literature, could be the
so
pamphlets
like
or newsletters, pamphlets, shit like that. Because that's how blatant they were. So amongst the files were thousands of index cards with names and addresses reportedly listing clients around the country. Some of them were prominent people and some federal employees in Washington. Mail correspondence from the apartment had been forwarded through a postbox registered in San Diego to the organisation called the Odyssey Foundation. The foundation ostensibly operated as a non-profit mentorship program of adult sponsors providing lodging and travel expenses to out-of-state boy fellows for educational visits.
Fellows is a mint word for it.
They were listed, so like they were listed like classified ads within like the pamphlets or the newsletters that they put out.
43-year-old man seeking young 12-year-old boy.
Usually the other way around. They'd put like, I've got this much
strong.
Yeah,
intellectual 53-year-old man.
That's me.
This guy wants to. This kid wants to have sex with me. We've changed the voices to protect the innocent. He really wants to have a go on me.
Hang on, I know exactly who that sounds like, and he definitely is a nonce. You haven't protected anyone. So the sponsors would get in touch with the Dallas headquarters, and then they'd send a fellow to the sponsor's home, and then the sponsor would like let the organisation know how long he wanted them to stay, and then pay the fee. Another big point. Found within the apartment, used as the nexus to facilitate this trafficking ring, had been pictures of the boys marked with details such as their age and personality quirks. Among these had been 4 with the word "kill" written on them. So Norman...
And this is why it's prudent, listener, to just be someone you can get along with. Because if someone is out there making a list of personality traits and then writing on some of these "kill," like... These are people that they've already got to rape. Like, they own them.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you could be getting frequently raped by these people who are paying what they call a sponsorship, and then your personality is grating enough for these people, these literal monsters, to want to kill you because they think you're a dick. It just, you just got to be nice to people, innit? It pays to be nice.
Pays to be nice, pays to put a smile on. Yeah?
Yeah.
When someone says, hey, you look better when you smile, maybe fucking take heed.
Maybe make a bit of eye contact as well. Don't be looking at the floor or the ceiling.
So Norman is found in possession of 40,000 index cards with contact information.
Even that's a lot. That's a lot, innit?
What do you mean, even that's a lot? That's
4 tons of child porn, but they do everything by the fucking... I'm going to look... 40,000 index cards are in a Rolodex.
40,000, you got to think that's enough to fill most football stadiums.
Do you think?
You could fill... Now, let me picture this, if you will. I don't know if you want a bit... I mean, let's take the Stadium of Light, which is Sunderland's stadium, right? I've been Stadium of Light quite a few times. It's a nice stadium. It's pretty big, right? I think it's 40 to 48,000 capacity. You could have that stadium full of nonces. Now,
to put it into better perspective, though, you're thinking of actual people.
Yeah.
I meant how many Rolodexes?
No.
Index cards. 80. It's only 80.
That's
a filing cabinet's worth.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you got a filing cabinet's worth of nonces, or you got a stadium full of nonces. Some would say that the Stadium of Light is full of nonces quite often. There's a little Adam Johnson joke
about football.
There's another Adam Johnson joke there somewhere. He was caught texting and trying to fuck a 16-year-old and ended up going to jail for it. But I'm not going to make it because I'm better than that. So Norman's found. What happens to those 40,000 contacts, Jack?
Well, I would hazard a guess that they did the only good thing to do, and that's to follow form. Burn them.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did, Jack.
Maybe, yeah.
So John David Norman goes jail. Yeah.
Do you reckon they had a flick through and had a laugh at some of them first, going, fucking hell, him. Hey, I knew it. Fred the weatherman.
Norman goes jail. What does he do in jail, Jack? You know, what would you usually do in jail? You've been convicted of a
Well, you try
fucking
and
pretty
get
serious
yourself,
crime. You'd get your head down. You'd
Yeah, you
maybe
keep your
you'd
head
reflect.
down, maybe try and get into solitary so you don't get killed by everyone around you or raped yourself by the people around you. Maybe get yourself a little job in there
What wouldn't you
that
do?
gives you access to the library so you can get some books, maybe get access to a printer so you can possibly make some reading materials and teach other people, how to read in there, give them some stuff to fill the time. Something like that I would suggest.
Great.
I don't think what you would do.
Great idea.
is,
What I would do is I'd start making a newsletter
aye.
for
What about?
nonces.
Oh,
Which
because that's going to
is
go down really well in prison, isn't it?
go down really well in jail. It'd definitely be
Holding
allowed.
up the printer as well,
Imagine
which I
that.
can't imagine goes down well. Someone's trying to print out, a picture that they've made using parentheses and full stops of tits so they can have a wank, and you're there printing out 5,000 pages of a pamphlet that tells people how to fuck kids. You see that in the printing queue, you'd be like, oh, he's fucking... I'm going to kill this man. And everyone's like, you can't, mate, he's too influential.
So the US State Department have taken fucking John David Norman's contact cards and burnt them. He's in jail and is somehow... can I say aloud? Can I say aloud? Because it seems like he's been allowed
7,000 pamphlets from prison
without it being known, without a
Yeah.
guard at least once going. Can I just check? Can I have a look at one of
over
them?
letters.
Yeah.
They look over and censor letters like fucking Russian police forces. They're not gonna be like, there's a lot here. I'm not going through all these. But that makes me think, right? Again,
Yeah.
so you send out 7,000. Within that is some form of coded message that these sort of like Nambler blokes only they understand.
It's not coded. It's not
Yeah, but
coded, mate.
Just as to throw it out there, there's something within that a regular person could
What's
read
it called?
that.
The Hermes letter, innit? It's called the Hermes newsletter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Hermes newsletter sent to 7,000 people with 5,000 subscribers.
5,000 subscribers.
Which implies he sent out an extra 2,000 just to people who he thought might be into it.
Well, yeah,
which
you got
is
to reach out,
a
haven't you?
bold- Yeah, that's a bold marketing though. Like I do bold marketing. Like that is how I sell dead rats.
Yes.
But I would never think to myself, a good idea might be to knock on people's doors with a bag of dead rats and be like,
Do you want one?
Yeah, look at this.
Would
I
you
did
like
try
one?
once, and I got caught. I got accused of being on crack, and I thought this isn't a good look.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do this anymore. But I wouldn't. An extra 2,000's mental. But I just think if he sends it to 7,000, no one is going to put the resources into investigating all 7,000 of these people. So within that 7,000 could be 50, maybe 100 people that he needs to contact and get information to regarding his business operations. And then they're the ones who can read this and get the message out of it. Whereas all these other people can read it as, oh, this is good. I can fucking rent a fellow from here to spend a couple nights with bumming him.
I don't think he needs
you can
to
just
put
read it and
his...
think there's a lot of holidays on offer here.
No, I don't think any of it is coded.
Do you not think?
There's no need. Like, that is the product. That's like Argos don't have
Argos, no.
Don't
come
hang on.
They give them away them big catalogues for free back in the day. You're
Yeah.
telling me they didn't hide messages in there?
No,
for
they don't have to.
Spies and people.
They don't have to. They
Why
don't
not?
have to because they sell amazing products. It's cover to cover of amazing products.
No.
What that did?
They would hide stuff in there.
No, they
would
wouldn't.
definitely
Listen,
hide things
no,
in
they
there.
wouldn't. Listen.
Why wouldn't you?
Listen.
I would. No.
Oh, let us hear us out. Argos absolutely smashed it, marketing wise, by giving away the catalogue for free because, and it weren't like, think of this: why pay thousands and thousands of pounds to have your business advertised on like telly or whatever? And like, especially when you're selling other people's shit, you're not selling Argos shit. You're selling other brands' stuff. So those brands advertise. You sell their shit. So they're already doing most of the advertising for you because they exist as their own brands. You don't want to spend, you want to cut corners here, save the money. What's less than that? give loads of catalogues out, let kids get them, put them at a height where kids can get them. Kids love an Argos catalogue. Then what happens for the rest of the year until the next Argos catalogue comes out? Kids badger their parents about everything that's in the Argos catalogue. And then shit gets bought. It's free advertising and it works. You don't need secret messages in the Argos catalogue. Much like this, there's no secret messages in the Hermes newsletter.
Okay.
It's just fucking Craigslist
we'll
of porn.
agree to disagree.
Yeah, I'm glad. So,
be mature.
Brooks runs this fucking newsletter and essentially has, like I say, Craigslist for bairns running from prison.
Yeah.
From prison after... Also, how quickly did he... Right? He loses 40,000 contact cards. Gone. I've had phones lost before, yeah? I've lost my contacts. Yeah. I've never got 7,000 back that quickly.
No.
From jail.
I've lost phone numbers of people and that's it. They're gone out your life forever.
He managed to get 5,000 subscribers again, like that. Just bump. Straight away.
Imagine his mailbag.
Huge. Fat sack. John David Norman had a fat sack. Overflowing.
And hadn't he been arrested like 6 times or something beforehand, or 5 times for sexual offences?
Quite a few different times.
Who was there was another guy as well that got...
We're coming to him. The one who never ended up in jail at any point.
Well, he got put in jail, but he ended up getting bailed. He got bailed out at like ridiculously high bails, even for the time. £36,000 bail.
That was...
Was that him?
That was Norman, or that was...
Before he changed his name. I think.
Yes, yeah. So he got bailed for 36 grand from someone in California.
Yeah, and he wasn't in California. He was like 3 states over.
Or was it Pask that got it? Because I think who run the company out of California? So basically, there was the part of the company was run from San Diego, the post box. So fucking it could be Norman or Coral. It wouldn't have been Coral. Yeah, one of them got posted at one point with the 36,000 fucking grand bail, got paid off. So, Dean Norman has a right-hand man who's helped him with all of his shit, with the Dallas operation, with Odyssey, with Hermes, Philip Pask. Philip Pask is another key point. He is the one who, the accuser, who was going to put John David Norman away, got killed.
Oh.
Pask did it, but didn't go down for the murder. It got reduced to a robbery, and he didn't do time. He got probation. If you look into Pask's history, he's got done for assault, murder reduced to robbery, sexual assault, all this shit. He's never done time at one point.
Mad.
He was...
Didn't know about him.
He was... Yeah, you do. You're in the documentary a lot. You will have seen it. He's the lad with long blonde hair. You'll know when I mention the next bit, because he is known for, obviously, never doing time, pretty much untouchable, which, again, like Norman, fucking all your contacts burnt, you're in jail, but you're allowed to run your nonce newsletter and still make money. Pask's untouchable. Like, they're protected to some degree. He lived with John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, yeah. Now, I've got because you're about to enter into the Junior Chamber of Commerce, I imagine.
We're about to enter into a lot of that stuff.
And I've worked out a weird little thing.
We're back?
Oh, yeah,
we had a little break.
Junior Chamber of Commerce.
So, no. Let's get back to fucking Gacy first, because you've just jumped straight there without making any link. Yeah. So, Philip Pask lived and worked with John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, for those who've lived under a rock, the clown killer. If you want to watch some fucking stuff that brings a few of these pieces together, another thing you can watch is the clown and what was Coral's nickname? The clown and the Candyman. It brings both of those two together. John Wayne Gacy, serial killer, 30 plus victims. Basically, didn't he?
33.
There you go. Took the
33 victims.
He blew Coral out the water.
Number.
Yeah. Which obviously,
which actually adds another thing adds another thing to my little thing over here.
Yeah, fantastic. I knew when I was reading it last night that as soon as I saw the number 33, you'd have something to add to it. Gacy.
Because it comes up in everything.
Gacy, it doesn't come up in everything. Loads of numbers come up in everything.
That's important.
No.
Everything that's important to conspiracy has the number 33.
Yeah, of course, because people wedge it in.
Every week.
Because people wedge it in, Jack. However...
Wedged it in there, under the floorboards, into the crawl space. It's still there, though, isn't it?
Gacy, often, till his death, said that he never acted alone. Said that he was quite often away when a lot of these murders happened. He was a massive fat cunt, and I don't know how he could fit under that floor space. Philip Pask was not. John Wayne Gacy had 11 sets of keys cut to his house. That's a fucking 11 extra set of keys cut to his house.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
That was a quick correction. What's this for? It says 11 on the Flex Meal documentary.
It relates...
It says 11. It's 11.
He has 12 sets of
11.
keys. It definitely says 12. Because it ties in. It ties in, mate. It ties into me fucking... my little conspiracy that's coming.
Of course it does. So...
It does.
Pask lived with and worked with Gacy. They have obviously fucking countless murders. There's loads of bodies buried. Gacy says all the way until his death that fucking look, it weren't just me. I was essentially a fall guy. I acted on behalf of, or I was basically someone who got roped into this and then had to go along for the ride. Now.
And he's not the only killer that said that either. Richard Ramirez said a lot of stuff like that just before he got dragged out of court.
Yeah, but Ramirez also said the opposite.
Again.
Ramirez also said the opposite for fucking ages until then. And I don't believe, because you've mentioned this off air as well, and I don't believe that Ramirez was fucking a fall guy for anyone. That was a horrible
I don't think he was
cunt.
necessarily a fall guy. I think he was an horrible man who they used. They were like, you're fucking mint, you. So here's a job.
I don't know, man, because I don't think he didn't...
We're going to need something from you. And that something from him was him getting arrested to quieten down the fear.
I don't think... Nah, because there was... None of those murders were of any one sort of prominence or importance.
But some of them were. One of the ones that took place in a church, she was like the daughter of a government official or something like that. And he fucking displayed the body all around the church. There was a few people that he killed who were associated and very closely linked to important people. Like it was, you're not going to do what we say. Look at your dead daughter. Next it's you. Crack on. That's how I see that.
Yeah, I'm not with you on Ramirez at all. Ramirez fits the bill for me.
Enough.
He's absolutely fine. Whereas Gacy, there's just some fucking holes. Not to say he's not squeaky clean by any means, horrible cunt, but I just think that this sort of figures. So Gacy, which we're leading up to, you can't wait to talk about, was a member of the JCs, which is the Junior Chamber of Commerce, which is essentially like networking.
The antediluvian order of the Buffaloes, but for America.
No.
Or the Rotary Club.
Or just a fucking group for people to network who are going to possibly go into politics.
Yeah, business people. Yeah.
Business, or
it's not like always... it's not the Masons. Is the point I'm making?
Yeah,
they're not the Masons. They don't actually really have influence. There's fucking loads
like
and
scouts.
Loads and loads of members.
It's like Scouts,
yeah.
but for adults.
For
people that are going to go out into the world of business or politics or things along those lines, with former members being the likes of Clinton, Nixon, Reagan, Bill Gates, Kemper, just
Elvis.
Your nice lot. Elvis was in there, was he?
Elvis Presley was, and
gets himself everywhere.
A guy called Tom, who was the founder of Domino's Pizza, which ties into the pizza scale because they all go to Domino's.
Oh, aye.
And Pizzagate, possibly.
So, his branch of the JCs was closely linked to the Chicago Democratic Party, as was Gacy himself.
Chicago town.
More pizza crack, man. Maybe this is the very foundation of Pizzagate.
Yeah. Tom left, and they're like, "Fuck that guy. Let's ruin pizza for everybody. Let's make it taste disgusting, and let's make it so people associate it with kids getting bummed."
Yeah. So you've got on that side, you've got Gacy on possibly the Democrat side of the scale. Maybe sowing seed or working amongst that group. To I don't know. I don't know whether he was.
Ooh, very topical thing to do with the Democrats. I saw a video literally before I sat down to record of the stars from the Avengers doing a weird video conference thing talking about Kamala Harris, and they're all saying that Kamala says down with democracy. And they none of them see what they're actually saying is Kamala is down with democracy. They're saying it is Kamala needs a catchphrase and Kamala is down with democracy. But then Scarlett Johansson repeats a few times going down with democracy.
Yeah, but I think
that's a little like thing to get in people's heads.
Nah, I'll tell you exactly what that is.
And happy with it.
I'll tell you what that is.
They've been paid to take part in that and say that. I understand that, but
no, it's a running trend of Kamala Harris trying to black herself up. This is a running trend. You'll see many memes about it at the moment where people will be like, someone like her speechwriter gives her a speech and she's like, it's not black enough. And she basically tries to connect with black voters whilst also being responsible for keeping so many of them in jail when they didn't have to be. Like she fucking code switches, and that's what that is. That's like being down, motherfucker. When really,
that's how they're saying it. But it's the way they just kept repeating.
Yeah, I know that would fit
down
with you.
Democracy, and it was I
know how that would
just
hit
trying
with
to get
you.
that phrase in people's heads. Yeah.
Nah, that's not the crack. But I appreciate it, Jack. I appreciate it. So, Gacy claimed that he was just involved in the production and distribution of films. Now, could that have been through the JCs, or could it have been in some degree through the Chicago Democratic Party? I don't know. But at the same time, or around the same time, there's another sex ring going on involving the Republican Party, and that is the Franklin scandal.
Again, a bit like Capcom versus Marvel. Again,
mate, this is Larry King, who ran... I can't remember where the fuck it was. I think it was Chicago, or was it Detroit? One of the two. He ran a credit union, which was a fucking massive pyramid scheme. Its aim, in inverted commas, was to make sure that fucking people at the bottom end of the spectrum had loans, access to like financial help, shit like that. What he was actually doing at the same time, while siphoning loads of money from people, was running a fucking huge sex ring where he procured kids for prominent government officials, again celebrities, a scumbag. ITV went over and made a documentary whilst he was still alive and everything, whilst it was happening, and that documentary essentially got burnt. It got bought. The rights to it got bought. There were loads of like cease and desists and NDAs and shit like that sent to ITV, being like, if you fucking try and put this out, we're going to shut you down. Then the rights to it got bought by a nameless group from America. So essentially, they bought the fucking rights to be like, you can't put it out if we own it. Then they got destroyed. One copy made it. You can find it on YouTube. It's in shit quality, but you can see it. And it's grim. This connects even more dots, because you know the Finders, right? You heard the story about the Finders. So the Finders, weird, shady, culty sort of group or possible cult. Two blokes get found one day. They'll get the police rang on them. Two blokes dressed very smartly are with a group of kids. Don't seem related. They're all scruffy. They're all cut up in shit clothes and that at a playground. Police go and investigate, and these blokes go, yeah, we're actually members of this group. these are talented kids. We run like a school for talented kids. They're just out for the day, and we're going to take them back. This is a group called the Finders, who essentially fucking got kids for people under the pretense of we run a special school for talented children. What they're actually doing is fucking stealing bands. Meant to be involved with Larry King.
Well, that would be a good way to take talented and intelligent kids sort of off the playing field, wouldn't it? Traumatise them, ruin them, so they can't change the world and do anything good or productive as well.
Yeah. Now this thing, obviously, you can tell they had power because they bought the rights to a documentary that basically showed how they were guilty. The lead investigator of the Franklin case, Gary Corridori, died in a plane crash. Under
always
strange
suspicious.
circumstances. Yeah. At the same time, what this is leading to is, let me just fucking get it. A lot of the information that come out about the Franklin scandal comes from a lad called Paul Bonacci, who was a victim. One of the most prominent victim of all of this, because his statements, I think they came out in a book. Most of the information comes from him. He was taken by Franklin and was a child prostitute for him, and had to have sex with loads of prominent people.
It's a horrible term, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Child
fucking minging because it almost
horrible. There should be a better word for it.
Yeah,
it needs a better name.
Yeah, it's because it makes it sound like the kids got a choice,
career choice.
Yeah, innit?
Yeah.
Like when you got hit 16, they were going, "What, are you going to go into college now? Are you going to go to uni?" He's like, "Nah, I'm going to go and sell me ass. I'm going to have it sold for us to celebrities."
I've been doing it for a while, and I want to do it full time now.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think I can skip the apprenticeship.
Make less money though, no.
I think I can skip the apprenticeship stage, and I reckon I can just go just self-employed. That's the aim, really. The aim's always to go self-employed in this business because there's always someone fucking you. So.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, mate. It just took you a while.
Is that the first one?
So, Bonacci, amongst a lot of other things, notably, there have been rumours, and I'd never looked into them that much, that Hunter S. Thompson was involved in the making of snuff. He is one of the people who accused Hunter S. Thompson, claiming that he was taken somewhere and a film was made, and Hunter S. Thompson was the one who made the film or directed the snuff film. There's also accusations from someone else that I can't prove whether they're real or not. A bloke called Russell Wilson or Russell Watson, something like that. It's a photographer who apparently claims he was offered $100,000 from Hunter S. Thompson to help him produce a snuff film for a group of fucking shady rich cunts, basically. But Bonacci mentions Hunter S. Thompson outright, says that he was involved in the directing or the filming of snuff films for powerful people. Bonacci also states, because there was a regular visiting point or a regular location that Bonacci and a lot of the others were taken to, was a CIA training site. It was an army base.
Oh, see.
So
and it all comes together.
So, what would happen is they were like trained almost as like agents sort of thing, whether it was to gain intelligence from the people that they were serving or whatever, but they were taken to CIA sites. Now, whether they were used there and trained there, apparently. Now,
but this adds into my MK Ultra thing before I suggested. You've already traumatized them and broken and fractured the minds of the children by having them as... You're basically being able to monetize the trauma of the kids rather than getting the one guy. Like, apparently there was one guy that they used to use to rape kids years ago for the MK Ultra stuff. I remember reading about that. And then...
Was it Michael Aquino?
It was his job to do that.
Was it Lieutenant Colonel?
I've
So,
got no idea.
I'm leading it too. A little precursor.
But there was one fella...
A little precursor to all this, a Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino was a member of the Phoenix program in the CIA, which was like a It was exactly that. It was like it was responsible for Operation Gladio. He was part of Operation Gladio, which is like psyop shit. He invented the term psyop. He wrote the book where the term psyop came. It's called From Psyop to Mind War. It was a paper. He invented the term psyop. This is his whole field. He was also a high-ranking priest under Anton LaVey in the Church of Satanism. But he wasn't happy with the lack of actual devil worship that went on in Satanism, so he formed his own sect of it called the Temple of Set, who you brought up earlier.
Right, so yeah, that's weird.
He is responsible for the extensive abuse of kids along with his wife. They did it together, and he was involved in something called the Presidio scandal. Let me have a quick look at that, see if I can find it. Yeah, so the Presidio scandal was a daycare, fucking preschool victims that were linked to occult rituals. He was using kids as part of his rituals.
Proper young'uns as well there.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard to get your hands on preschool kids because they're not often left unattended, are they? Really, if you think about it.
No, but I wouldn't.
Nursery kids, school kids, but preschool kids, you've got to know where they are because they're not anywhere. They're at home.
This is true, but you've got to think this was years ago as well. So the army
less
and
insulation,
this was a
sound insulation, so you could hear him through the walls crying and that, couldn't you? And just walk up and down the street being like there's a baby crying in there. We'll have that. The neighbours will even thank us for quieting down.
So the army ended up closing. It was a childcare centre at the army base.
Fucking hell.
The army ended up closing the base as many as 60 youngsters were abused there.
Just making super soldiers, bro. That's what they're trying to do. You can't look at that any other way and think, they didn't know what was going on. They're like, if we abuse them at the right time, get them just the right flavour of abuse in there, we can probably make this one here pretty clever.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. So, as part of the in the Franklin scandal or in the Franklin case, a couple of the key names that could have been linked to it are John Benet Ramsey and Johnny Gosch. Johnny Gosch was the first kid to be his missing poster put on a milk carton. John Benet Ramsey is the very famous case of the lass that fucking... Lass?
John Benet Ramsey was a girl, yeah?
Yeah, lass that went missing, never been found. Both of them never been found, obviously. There are possible links that Johnny Gosch could have been taken by Philip Pask, who used to live with John Wayne Gacy.
So this is, again, when you were saying earlier, I don't know if you were saying it on air or off air, about how it seems to repeat itself, these sort of things, and the cut and paste. That is very similar to the stuff to do, the allegations and quite proper conspiracy of Madeleine McCann and those two American politicians that supposedly took her.
Oh, the Podestas.
Yeah, even similar name.
I think the more convincing one with the McCanns is that he's English. There was some mad lord or some sort of millionaire, some sort of old money bloke who lived over there, had a house very nearby, and I think they were rumoured to have even had dinner together, the McCanns and him, in the nights leading up to Madeleine's disappearance.
Oh, I've not heard that. See, you've got to be very suspicious.
Got to look into this. You should. I'll try and find it for you because that is the most convincing out of all the conspiracies I've read.
I've never heard that.
It's fucking pretty much oh, okay, and it adds up a bit. I'll try and find it off air because I've got to try and find out who the bloke is.
Nobody wants to hang around with someone with young kids.
No.
You don't want to hang around with them while they've got the kids with them. So you've got to be very suspicious. Unless they're a very close friend or family member. No one meets someone and goes, you know what? I would love to have my dinner repeatedly interrupted by a kid screaming and throwing carrots across the table.
So, we have Philip Pask possibly connects both the Franklin side with Larry King's operation with the prominent Republicans and everything, and John David Norman's side, which is the international, the fucking national ring of sending out pamphlets. So you've got a sort of exclusive VIP group, and then you've got the everyman's circles. Pask connects both if he's involved in the finder's side with the Franklin lot.
Which screams CIA, because CIA frequently play both sides of most things.
Exactly. So, and he's untouchable, which makes me think even more like, how the fuck were you created? Were you trained like Bonacci?
Yeah. But another side note there, if it is CIA or even FBI, that are it would most likely be CIA or whatever is really above the CIA that does all the stuff that we think the CIA does secretly. There's probably another organization with another acronym. But still, does the whole thing with the burning of the evidence, destroying the Rolodexes, that makes it seem like the FBI or the CIA or whoever it is, their whole purpose is just to keep themselves in a job. So by destroying that footage, the evidence of that, they're like, well, if we don't know who this is, we can still investigate this, and we can still do it so that all these thousands, tens of thousands of people we employ can keep investigating this. Because it keeps people in a job, which means money gets spent by the government on government workers, which then gets taxed and goes back to the government and creates an almost endless spiral, not circle, but an endless spiral, a helix of money coming back in and out of the same organisation.
That's definitely part of it, because the CIA survives from just making money for itself. I would definitely say some of it is just to keep shit open so they've got stuff to do. Some of it is blackmail, or whether that be financial or for political or diplomatic gain. So like that's what I believe so much of this is for. And I believe that's why things like contacts and that were seized and destroyed, because I think that to some extent, whether they were involved whether they were involved directly in the running of operations, or whether they were infiltrating organisations to monitor and then get stuff to blackmail people with, I'm not sure. But there has to be some element of, we've got people here we've now got tabs on, that we've got pulling power over.
Yeah.
Whether it's for political gain, personal gain, whatever. I think in some instances, possibly with Epstein, that it's direct. That it's government, to a degree, government funded, where they're like, you exist to destabilise rich people, so we always have something on.
What if it's just to destabilise a country, a specific country? Because it's a great way to cast a seed of doubt, plant that seed of doubt in a nation's population that this sort of thing could be happening. Because if you're making a country, most of America, realistically, now is founded on what they believe the Nazis came up with on how to control people through things like Operation Paperclip, things like that. So you learn that and you're like, look, you can only do so much, everything you want to do for so long before you hit roadblocks of barriers that you've placed there yourself in order to control other things in the past. So you need a way to collapse all that before somebody else comes in and pokes holes in the foundations and be like, look at this is all built on sand. You've got to then destroy that yourself from the inside to be able to enact changes later on, or to completely destroy it and bring about a new regime. This would be a great way to be able at any point, if you need to pull the plug on your society, you could pull that and then pull one little thread and you're like, all of these people are implicated in all of this. We need to cast this down. And the great thing is we've got a new system. We've been developing AI for years. Here's a system. Here is the leader of the Enclave. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Enclave from Fallout 3. And do you know what I mean? And then they introduce that because it's already ready. and we've had it drip fed to us that this is a possibility or whatever, and all this other stuff. So then we can understand, oh, yeah, we definitely need to eradicate people being involved in any decision making because they're all, is the word infallible, where you can make them do whatever you want them to do because they're weak, because they fuck kids on camera.
Yeah, I don't think it's for countries though, because you got to remember, like, most of the countries that Americans would want to destabilize would never go to a party that any
Ran
of
by
those
these people.
Exactly.
No, to destabilize their own though, so that when they know we've put all these barriers in place for ourselves.
I don't.
Because surely it's better
I don't
for
think
you
it's
to
for that.
destroy something than your enemies to destroy it,
I
so you
don't-
can control the demolition.
I don't think it's not for the country. It's the individuals. They want just power over the individuals.
And then they've got power over the whole because of that.
They've got everything then, because if you've got
But they
power
only need one revolutionary in that case then. One of them. To just come out. If you got one of these people came out on TV, on the news, managed to get in a live broadcast and say for longer than, like, is it 12 seconds they've got, or 6 seconds they've got of that burn time where they can delete it before it goes out, and you burn that early on.
Yeah, but you've got to think, mate,
before they can rebuild it, and then you just say on TV, I've done this has happened with this, and this, and you get that, so it goes onto the internet immediately from elsewhere. You could destroy it all.
No, you couldn't though, because people have done that.
It's just this guy.
Yeah, and are there people that say it was crazy or shit like that, and then
Yeah, but it's never someone admitting to doing it.
No, I think there's been there's been like cases around like sort of Diddy and shit like that where people have come out and said, I've seen this shit. It's been an open secret at Diddy's parties. This sort of stuff happens, and nothing's ever come about.
Yeah, but they're saying I've seen it. But if they were coming on going, I did this.
Yeah, but then it'd be too easy, because
Just
what would
blame
happen?
them.
What would happen then is the
Yeah.
public wouldn't look at the bigger picture and go, oh, it's clearly Jeffrey Epstein who's responsible for all this going on. It's his island. They go, you fucked a kid. And that's
Stephen
all they've
Hawking did
heard.
what with dwarfs?
That's all they've heard. And that's where it stops. So then overnight,
Yeah,
that
okay.
person just becomes a scumbag. They get dealt with and nothing happens to the big picture.
Yeah.
It's not as simple
Scapegoat.
as that.
Okay.
Like with these, like they managed to put all of these names and all of their fucking sort of individual crimes were all in the media, but they weren't connected together. Like all the way through, even now, like people dismiss the existence of snuff films.
Innit? The idea, though, of people just sitting around sniffing tobacco is mental, though, isn't it? Who'd want to watch it?
So, I mean, that's also a point where, so there's something about that as well. It's another name that comes up when I was looking at it, because one of the sources that Flesh Simulator uses for his documentary is a book by Simon Dovey. Simon Dovey, called Eye of the Chickenhawk. Chickenhawk being a name for a fucking nonce.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was like a less intimidating sounding bird of prey.
No, it's a nonce. So, during the 70s, people in New York, people started the police started to receive tips that were basically being circulated saying that snuff films are out there. There are viewings at private screenings. People pay up to like $200 to witness these killings. During this time, there are also rumors that a lot of these started cropping up in like the art world, or like among art collectors and shit. Because of course they'd be into weird shit, and that's a way to spread it about. And one of the prominent people who tried to buy a film was Andy Warhol.
Oh,
Just a rumor. Just a rumor.
thought he was going to say Dali or something like that.
There are also a lot of rumors that Manson produced snuff films.
It feels too believable to
But
be true.
nah. But that they were missing when someone who bought Manson's collection, who knew they would be there, he bought them, was like, hang on, this film's missing here. Which
So he's suspicious, though, anyway, the guy that knew
yeah,
them.
something like that. But one of the names that comes up whilst talking about, when I was looking at Simon's book about the origins of snuff, and basically the people disregarding it and saying that snuff doesn't exist. This goes into like the history of the fact that it obviously does exist. During the 70s, Alan Dershowitz, which is a name you might recognise.
I recognise Dershowitz.
Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer.
Oh, I was thinking David Berkowitz, which is a different name.
A renowned civil liberties advocate for New York's Eastern Establishment, the Eastern Establishment being a group of moderate and liberal Republicans in the 20th century, particularly those on the Northeast and West Coast, were referred to as the Eastern Establishment or Rockefeller Republicans, after Nelson Rockefeller, vice president during the Gerald Ford administration. So it was a group of like sort of prominent Republicans on the East Coast at that time, Northeast Coast, New York basically. Dershowitz says at the time he said he felt in 1977 he felt the need to defend the legality of privately screened snuff film events provided the victims featured in them had been murdered overseas.
Wow. Imagine if that's what all the wars were for. That's why they went to Vietnam.
Well, just to film extravagant fucking snuff.
Yeah. Weird ways of killing people and film it.
Could be,
because some of the ways they killed people and tortured people, and for the way that they did, the Vietnamese and that would kill and torture people. They're like, look, you can do what you want to our boys, but here's a camera, here's a microphone. Now, we don't understand what you're saying, but if you could write it down, our translators can have a double look over it, and we could probably work it out for the boys back home.
So, we're pretty much, we're not coming to the end. We're coming to another part.
Should we take the other part into Patreon or?
No. We'll complete this next bit because this sort of rounds off the. We're going to dive into the island. Okay. And then we're going to bring it together in the Patreon.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. But Pask, before we move on to the island, the key players really in all of this, Ames distributor, big distributor, John David Norman, fucking the linchpin of it all. Him and King with the Franklin scandal were the ones fucking the movers and shakers, you could say. They were moving Bairns, they were shaking Bairns, Bairns were getting shook. Philip Pask is immune to everything. Can't send him to jail. Don't know the fuck why. Don't know what the fuck's going on where he just will not go to prison.
Do you reckon he was a real person, or do you reckon it was a pseudonym used by loads of different people?
No, it was a person.
Because if all of these, because you've got to imagine if there's a lot of these different people, and they're all going through them, going like, "Give us your reals." Yeah, I'm Phil Pask. Yeah, and they all just use the name Phil Pask, but none of them are called Phil Pask, because then every time they speak to these people and say, "Tell me what Phil Pask looked like," and you're like, "Yeah, he was 6'4", curly hair." You know, always wore sunglasses. Another person could be like, "Oh, he was 5'3", walked with a cane." And then it sounds like they're all lying, but really they're all talking about the same person.
One thing that does muddy the waters is Pask was a transvestite, so he would sometimes be dressed as a man and sometimes be dressed as a woman.
Right.
Also, what was it? Something else was that Norman's bail, when he was arrested over the raid, it got reduced from 284,000 down to 36,000, which was due to the fact they burnt all the fucking evidence.
That's so much money though, 230,000.
284,000.
284,000. Because considering it said in the documentary, it said 36,000 back then was the equivalent of £250,000 now with inflation.
Yep.
And 286,000 is what, like fucking nearly 5 times that.
Yep.
So 2.5 million.
Yep. Insane amounts of money. So those are your key players when it comes to sort of connecting people up and distributing. You've got Gacy as well, who says that he did a bit of filming and was distributing. Coral was involved in the sourcing. Now we're going to move on to the main filming location, which is North Fox Island.
It's a good name for it.
It's a good name
for
isn't it?
where there's production.
North
You got
Fox
Fox
Island
as well, so if people are like, "Oh, Fox production" or whatever, So where they're going to come up with Fox.
Yeah.
Good for they didn't have SEOs back then, but Fox would be dominating it, wouldn't it, over your North Fox?
Yeah. Definitely. So the North Fox Island was owned by I think it was Frank Sheldon. His name Frank? Something Sheldon. Believe it was Frank Sheldon. He was the son of a Skull and Bones member. His dad ran a business. I can't remember if it was like logging or something like that. It was made fucking millions. He was minted. And like I say, he was in the Skull and Bones. So there's already some shady connection there. He ran the... What was it called? He ran an organisation that had boys come to the island. I don't know if it was one of those where it was the school, where it was like a re-education place, where you come and send bad kids, or whether it was one where it was sent. It was run
like
as
Professor X's mansion.
Was run as a charity. It was run as like a charity where lads would come and basically stay, and they would do activities and shit like that. I don't think it was Scouts.
Yeah, no, but I think I've heard about this.
You have?
Yeah, I can't remember. I've not wrote down what it was called,
it's
but
a big part of the documentary. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Anyway, so he runs this fucking thing. That's where most of the film's going on. Most of the filming's going on there. Kids are sent there. They're abused there. The films are then sent from there. They're at a place called Father Bud's. Then they're sent to California, where they're distributed via Norman. So Cali...
What, the children are?
No.
The footage?
The footage is.
Right.
So this North Fox Island, he gets done. All of these blokes have got done. He got done for being a nonce. The facility got shut down. This Father Buds is
getting done is such a nice childish term for it, isn't it?
Yeah,
he got done for that.
For what
I'm going to get
talking
you
about.
done. It'd be a horrible idea that the kid's getting raped. I'm going to get you done for this.
I'm trying to find the place that was. The fuck's it called? Father Buds, man. It's a nightmare because that's my fucking name.
I know. I was thinking that.
Bit shit in it.
Yeah.
Bit shit. Don't want to really be associated with this. Father Buds.
Father Bud's knocking shop. Father Bud's brass house.
Oh.
Father Bud's home for delinquent youths. One of the weird crimes that they managed to get a lot of them for was to do with something like encouraging the delinquency of a minor.
Yeah, well,
that's what they pinned them for.
That's a
weird
strange one,
sounding
isn't it?
crime. Yeah, like, oh, you've made this kid do illegal stuff. Like, well, in a way, I guess, but
that's because in a lot of the in the States and shit like that, they wouldn't have actually had crimes for like paedophilia or nonsense, basically shit like that, which is disgusting, obviously.
Yeah, but it's also one of them where for a while a lot of people, I imagine, would think we probably don't need laws for that. People aren't going to do that. Do you know what I mean? And then people realise and they're like, oh, right, okay, people are evil. We need to stop this. New law, everyone. New rule. No one touch these. Leave them be. Only touch the bumholes of the kids you're wiping the arseholes of.
Well, this is North Fox Island, where your boy Starchild comes into it.
Starchild?
Yeah.
What, like Indigo Children?
The bloke who changed his surname to Starchild.
Oh, I do remember him as well.
You do remember him?
You've
got to have some notes on him. You better have, because this is strong, and we're going to close out the episode with his tie-in. Then we're going to go over to the Patreon to discuss how this relates to the modern era. We're going to bring it all together.
Okay. Well, Starchild at that point was... What is that noise? Oh, my cat's just been sick behind.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. The fucking Starchild is mad because at that time it started to be the big Indigo children push. This is very distracting. She's really going for it back there. I don't know if you can pick this up on the mic.
Kind of bit, yeah.
Yeah. Go Edmund. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Because of the Star Children thing, which is basically autistic kids. But it's weird that you would associate the name with it.
Right.
But that's all I've got. I've been quite distracted now by her. I think she's been waiting at the door for a little while. I'm thinking, oh, you can get out of there. Help yourself, get out. Which is, I imagine, what some people may have thought, going to visit this North Fox Island.
Yeah.
Looking at these kids being like, there's a boat right there. Go. Just walk out.
I'm now going to try and find... Here we go. Adam Starchild. See if I can find me bit on here. Where is he? Where the fuck is he? Because this North Fox Island, there's a lot of stuff on you can watch. Starchild is this bloke, the proper unfortunate looking fella.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like
He looks
Smart
like
Schoolboy.
He looks like Elton John with Down syndrome. He was a financial consultant and a convicted fraudster, and a key figure in the Perpetual Traveller movement, which was the fucking one of those stupid I'm a sovereign person, a sovereign citizen shit where you
I don't recognise your marine law.
Yeah, law of the sea, like law of the land over law of
yeah.
the sea bollocks, but in America basically being like how to obtain a second foreign passport, getting a dual nationality, being a permanent tourist or a prior taxpayer. So like it's all about fucking not paying tax, which is what this bloke was all about. He became involved with Francis Sheldon, who ran North Fox Island, who ran this dorm where kids would all come, be sent to, and then get abused, and then the fucking footage would go out to California where it would be distributed by Norman. Let's see, where's it at? He ended up in the... Did he fuck over the Scouts? Was it the Scouts? Yeah. I think it's the Scouts he got done for nonsense. There's another Scout troop involved in this circle as well.
It's the place to cut your teeth.
It is, isn't it?
Mm.
In 1967 he was convicted of possessing obscene literature and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. It's come up again. In 1968 he was arrested for his involvement with a 16-year-old. Then he got in a load of fraud. He went over to England. He came over to England, did a little bit of fraud over here as well.
Travelling for it's crazy, isn't it?
In 75 or 76, where he could have been on the run.
I suppose.
That would make sense, right?
Yeah.
And then while you're on the run, you've got to do a little bit of taxing and all, make your money back.
Yeah.
When in 75 or 76, he changed his name to Adam Aristotle Starchild.
Nonsense.
From
Called himself Ass.
Malcolm Willis McConaughey. Which is...
It's just as silly as a name, really.
Adam Aristotle. Sticking Aristotle just goes to show how fucking much you think of yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you've picked fucking. Also, it means you don't think that much of yourself because you haven't thought past the base. The two first philosophers you learn about if you do any sort of philosophy, which is Aristotle and Plato.
It's very much get stoned and think up a new name, or you're really drunk and you're like, oh, what's a cool name? What's a name where people will trust me? Like Homer calling himself Max Power when he changed his name in The Simpsons. It's that sort of feel to it, isn't it?
Yeah. Shortly after changing his name, there was an obituary concerning his former name, saying he was killed in an auto accident. So he basically tried to fake that he killed himself off and created a brand new identity for himself.
Which the other guy did as well, didn't he? Didn't the other guy, was it
Norman
Ames?
changed his name
to Steve, yeah.
Yeah, to Steve Gerwell.
That's it.
So, here we go. In 1977, the Traverse City Record Eagle reported that Starchild was involved in a number of supposed charitable organisations funded by a wealthy Michigander, Francis Duffield Sheldon. The Church of the New Revelation of Kearney, New Jersey, Brother Paul's Children's Mission on North Fox Island, the Educational Foundation for the Youth of Illinois, and the Ocean Living Institute of New Jersey. The last allegedly devoted to underwater habitats, aquaculture, ocean architecture, and ocean law, which was said to be tax dodgers and fronts for sexual activity involving boys.
Fucking hell.
Most of them were tax dodgers, and then you had the North Island and the Church of Revelation and Brother Paul's Mission were obviously ones for fucking nonce and bairns.
I like the idea that they all had to use the same sort of water taxi to get about. and they're just dropping each other off at different islands.
You go over there. See you in a bit. We'll
Yeah,
compare
and
notes when you come back.
they're all looking at each other going, "They're dickheads, them. They don't pay a penny in tax." The tax guys are like, "They fucking rape kids. What are they on about? They're they to say this." And then they have to do like a summer jamboree thing, like you see on American films, like cheerleader camp or whatever, and all these different teams have to compete against each other like a talent show.
Well, he ended up, so in 76, Sheldon left North Fox Island. He fled to the Netherlands to escape charges that were coming against him, basically. And he left Starchild in charge of his money. He gave him,
Terrible idea.
who then he created an offshore trust with himself as the trustee and tried to keep the money.
Yeah, I bet he did.
And even though he was an international fugitive, in 83, Sheldon managed to take him to court and reclaim the funds. They're all untouchable, man. Even though he's fucking wanted, he still manages to go, hang on, that bloke there, who's also a nonce, by the way, although we won't say anything about that because I'm a nonce too. He has my coin. Can I have it back, please? From what? From my nonce activities, yeah. And what? Gives it back. And he got it back.
It's mad, isn't it? That they all play these games with each other as well. It really does add into the idea, though, of that there's a different thing living here that looks like people.
I don't think
like
does at all.
the uncanny valley kind of thing. Like these things look like humans, but they're not, and that's why they can function. And they got all these other rules.
No, I think
that's why the drip feeding.
What
this
I
idea
like
of two tier.
What I like about that to you, Jack. What I like about that idea is you don't think humans have the capacity for this. When what this is actually is that this is humans in their most evil capacity.
Yeah, but the idea that there's just so many of them.
No, there doesn't have to be so many. They just find each other.
Yeah, that's what's mad about it as well. It's like fucking. I don't know if you ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They've all got these fucking invisible monsters that help them, and they all suddenly start to find each other before something important happens. It's very much a plot hole and a plot point of the series every time, because otherwise it's got no direction at all. And it seems like that they just, the idea that they'd find each other. These people are, you got to imagine, pretty reasonably unsociable, struggle with the world because they're fucking doing mental stuff. And the idea that they would trust each other or work alongside each other. I know that they're getting kiddie porn out of it and snuff films. I know they're getting something out of it, but they just seem like they wouldn't be the sort of people who would make friends. What I'm angry about, man, is why can these people work together and make friends? And I can't.
That's the problem.
That's
do you know what hit me when we were talking about he had 5,000 subscribers?
Yeah.
We'll never have that.
No.
Never. That hurt. And that's why I would like your theory to be true. But it's humans, you know. And it's just humans that, if you've got similar interests, you'll flock together, and if those interests are really shady, then you'll tend to stick together even tighter. But also at this time,
and
it was just easier to do. I think
if your interests are conspiracy theories, join Patreon, patreon.com/truthseeking.
Also, yeah. This, I think what happened to Sheldon died. The other one died, the fucking weird Downs Elton John. He died whilst undergoing some sort of experimental treatment for a tumour. But that's sort
closer, Downy Dancer.
Downy Dancer, nonsense kids out on the highway. So we've hit all the heads. Then we've got Michael Aquino, who's the precursor to it all, the leader of the Temple of Set, the fucking one tied to the daycare tragedy, the exposed the same time as the Finders tied to Franklin, the Finders also tied to Pask, who's tied to Norman, tied to Project Delta, which is the whole fucking linking people up. Oh, we forgot to actually really explain Delta, which was just Odyssey again. Project Delta was once Norman had come out of prison, he set up Delta.
Was the one he set up from prison. That was
he
the
started
newsletter.
in prison, and then
Hermes
was the newsletter. And then he capitalised
through Delta. Yeah.
Aquino, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino, was said to be the tall man in the dark robe who shot a kid. During Paul Bonacci says in one of the testimonies about the Franklin scandal, Paul Bonacci says that during one of the films he was forced to act in, a kid was shot in front of him and a lad called Nicholas, I think. His shot in the face. They had to fuck that kid after he'd been shot in the face and killed. They say that Michael Aquino was the person who pulled the trigger. He was also meant to be a handler for numerous celebs, especially involved those that came from MK Ultra.
Do you reckon that guy they're getting shot on the set with Alec Baldwin could have been a little?
I think all the ones who were involved in this...
Maybe there was people within that who were involved with snuff films now, and someone was like, I'm going to fucking get these guys investigated the only way that I think I can. Slip a real bullet in there.
I don't think so. I don't think... Because that's too... I don't think that's the way to do it. Yeah, there's so much that ties all this together on both sides of the fucking political spectrum for America. So none of you are clean on either side. But now we've tied all this, which I think we have. I say we've tied it. It's a massive web, but it is a web. So there's no way to bring this to a conclusive end apart from everyone's dead, apart from one of the kids who helped Dean Corll. They're all dead.
He should get a book deal, or at least a podcast.
We should give him a bell.
I'd rather not.
If you'd like to listen to this, has been long as fuck. If you'd like to see where we take this next, which is into the modern era, join us on the Patreon. It's going to go out at the same time, which is today.
Oh.